May the 4th offers are coming up, and so many new lightsaber models and design upgrades have launched right on time.
Welcome to the Saber Factory.
Hello there. Kevin here at thesaberfactory.com. In this Spring Digest, we'll have a look at this Revan Deep redesign, the new Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer Katana of Tanjiro, the Count Stunt, the budget replica range, now welcoming a budget-friendly straight Dooku hilt, Anakin's new saber in a special edition with a double-sided kyber chamber, and massive Maul upgrades. A weathered version of our entry price bestseller Maul Episode 1, as well as a new Shadow Lord saber. Let's get started. Before we look at these nice sabers, just a couple of things. As you know, May is the Star Wars month, with May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day, and Revenge of the 5th. But it's also our anniversary month at thesaberfactory.com. And for the whole month of May, you get an automatic 10% off all lightsabers. On May 4th and 5th, it's a 2-day massive sale event, so that's automatic 15% off replicas, 20% off custom designs and dueling sabers, and 30% off accessories. All those discounts are applied automatically at checkout, and of course they go on top of the already, strike prices that you see or current sales. Also, quick update on the USA ready-to-ship inventory. It's been restocked, ready for the anniversary month. So new models in the stunt range. Note there's, by the way, a little text indicator underneath the cart button, so you know which version to select to make sure it's the one that's available in our US warehouse, because it was always easy to know that it's a baselit 28 inches blade, whatever. So now you always get confirmation when it displays the availability in the US warehouse. You have all of those indicators. So yeah, made it easier. Now on to our sabers, because there's quite a lot to look at in this Spring Digest, so let's go. The RV Light Side Hero Saber, Revan's Jedi Saber. It's a deep hilt redesign. Here's the previous hilt. So the most visible change, of course, is the button. So you see here, the button is integrated in the design. Here it was a visible, core button. Also, the USB is not hidden. It's not on the hilt anymore. It's on the core, and I'll show you. Of course, it's a slide-out core. Let me just turn it off. So you will notice the Revan engraving in Aurebesh. Slight changes in the finish, so just let me make some space. It'll be easier to demonstrate. So I was saying, Aurebesh engraving, that's Revan. Some changes overall in the proportions, in the design, in the finish. It's a little bit less brushed, still a brushed aluminum, but it's finer, I would say. Of course, slide out core. So now you know the drill. And it makes a massive change on this saber, because before, with this one, it wasn't a slide-out core, and to remove the core, you needed to remove the fins that were screwed on and glued. And so you could access the 2 setting screws that were needed to be removed in order to access the core and take it out. So that was quite of a tedious way to remove the core fully, to access the battery, and do any sort of maintenance. And now it's not an issue anymore. This is a way better design. As you know, Nexus Sabers is transitioning pretty much all sabers to slide-out cores, except for dueling sabers are very easy to disassemble. The price is unchanged. It's currently at $289 US in baselit, $329 in NeoPixel. So it's already available at thesaberfactory.com. It's been for a few weeks now, and I don't need to demo it. As you know, if you want a demo of a Xeno 3 here, you can also ask for a Profi version. This is a NeoPixel version, smooth swing and all. I'll still say that this hilt looks super cool, but two things to consider if you're planning on doing anything else but cosplay is this is still not very practical to grab, to handle due to those very big fins, but I think they're more comfortable now than they used to be before, though higher. I don't know if you can see here, this used to be a little shallower of a fin, and this one is a little bit larger. So still not very comfortable to use if you want to duel, and those big fins there, you will have to be extremely careful with those if you remove the blade. And I'll just quickly remove it just to show you. With the blade removed, this is quite a dangerous bit. So be careful with this when you don't have a blade in. You have an included specifically designed blade plug, comes with it, and if you insert it like this, just let the tip come out. Like it. Moving on to our next saber. This you'll like. If you're a fan of Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer, this is a replica inspired from Tanjiro Kamado's first katana. It comes with a colored flat blade. By colored, I mean that the flat sides of the blade are printed with a black and red motif. Yeah, that's printed on the NeoPixel blade. It only comes as a NeoPixel. What it does is that this makes it a great day blade. If you're a cosplayer, you'll know that in bright environments, the LEDs might not necessarily show that much. So this makes a great day blade. And then, of course, you can light it up. What it'll do, though, is that it may modify, you know, the color diffusion due to the colors blending with the red. So, for instance, if I use another color like green, you might see, so that's green quite well, and there could be a little blend of colors that, you know, mix with the red. So it's not always very visible. Depends maybe on the camera where you see it. It's not that visible, but it's something to consider a little bit. That's kind of the best of both worlds here. You got a sort of a day blade and a NeoPixel blade. The hilt, it is wrapped with a fake leather. That's honestly pretty, you know, soft and cushiony. It's pretty comfortable. It differs greatly from any other lightsaber in our catalog in the sense that it has a bespoke sort of pill-shaped hilt. And of course, if I show you the core is gonna have that same shape, so it's a bespoke, custom-shaped core. To access the core, due to the shape of this hilt, you can't just unthread the pommel. You're gonna have to remove those two X screws with the included key. Nothing too complicated. And there is your Xeno 3 NeoPixel core with this custom shape. It's a slide out, but it's just a uniquely made to the Saber core with your battery, your speaker, and your USB charging port here. There you go. And doesn't matter which way you put it back in. Same thing with the blade. It'll work. So that's nice. Speaking of the blade, it cannot be used for any dueling, contrary to our regular, you know, NeoPixel lightsaber blades. This type of flat blade is too weak and should only be used for cosplaying, for display, where there's no contact between blades or with any other object. It comes with an included plastic scabbard to perfect your cosplay and protect your blade. It's got a nice, you know, foam inside, so you're sure to not, oops. So you're sure to not scratch or damage your blade. So that's nice. There is no baselit version. It's a Xeno 3 NeoPixel only. And if you've come here for this specific product and don't know anything about the Xeno 3 technology that onboards this saber, I'll invite you to check my channel, you know, have a look around to see what it's about. I've got plenty of videos talking about Xeno 3 and the functions. You know, it's an amazing technology with smooth swing, you know, very sensitive to any move. You've got plenty of sound fonts. And by the way, there is not, so of course we have 34 sound fonts licensed in this. There is no Tanjiro sound font, of course, but I've seen that someone made one for plenty of Saber boards, not for Xeno 3 unfortunately, but I'm sure that you could easily adapt the files by renaming them to the proper naming and maybe convert them into the proper wave format. So you could easily make a version of that font that I've found, just look it up on Google and yeah, or maybe ask the font maker to convert it to Xeno 3 now that there is this saber. I'm sure it's gonna come up at some point. But yeah, you know, color change, it's RGB, so you can really finely select the color. Just one thing that I want everybody to see on this video is, contrary to NeoPixel blades where you don't see each individual LEDs because there is a lot of diffusion material in the blade, here on those flat blades, I don't know if you'll see properly, I'll try to get closer, but the LED beads do show individually. Maybe that's not the right color to demo this. Maybe you can see here, I don't know. You see the individual LEDs. So that's something that's a bit more visible on that kind of blade. From afar, and you know, when moving you don't see it, but honestly you'll see it, and I rather you know what to expect. Due to this format of blade, there's less diffusion material, there's less space for it. So yeah, don't get fooled by the visuals. That's what it looks like, contrary to most NeoPixel blades. So that's my honest review and look at it. It's fully aluminum, fake leather. There is this red plastic print here. Let me just get the focus back. It really feels nice. It's a very light blade. It's not too heavy of a hilt, and it's long enough so you've got good grip. I like it. Yeah. Tanjiro Kamado's lightsaber, basically. It's a lightsaber, but it's a katana lightsaber. So launch price for this Xeno 3 NeoPixel Tanjiro saber is only $309 USD. Moving on. The Count Stunt. Let me put a blade in there. Now, for an interesting new addition to your collection. The Count Stunt. A small reminder of what the stunt range is. It's a budget replica range with alternate simpler designs of hero sabers at around half the price of the replica version. And we'll see that in this case it can be even cheaper. This range is great for dueling use because it gets rid of the design bits from the replica that make them difficult or painful to handle, just as they did on the movie sets, you know, where actors and stunt people would use those stunt variants of each saber for all the shots where we couldn't really see the hilt up close. And here's how the replica and the stunt version compare. Of course, just let me just focus there. You see the massive differences, the curved hilt, here the straight stunt. I'm just going to shut it off. To make this one, of course, it requires bespoke machining process and CNCing, bespoke electronics chassis that comes with this very special shape and in interconnecting parts to make it, which explains the very high price. Whereas, of course, This stunt version is straight. It's a very classic lightsaber shape. It uses a streamlined hilt making process, a simple slide out core that's common to many other Saber models, and it leads this Dooku stunt to start at $149 US, baselit $179 in NeoPixel, where this one is $479 USD in NeoPixel only. So let me show you a little bit more. To access the core and to recharge this saber, it's pretty much the same thing as with the replica. Here you've got, so it's an X screw. To remain screen accurate, on the replica you had this little brass flat head screw with little dents on the side. It looked cool, but this is a replica. Here we're trying to make it simpler for you with the classic X screws that you have all over the saber, basically, and now you have access to your slide out core, classic build, USB-C charging port, the battery access, the SD card, very standard core construction. As you know now, if you're into lightsabers or if you follow my channel. That O-ring there, the screw back. Honestly, they still kept that little notch design with the pommel, like here with the replica. So it meant, okay, if you want to keep that, you can't just unthread the pommel. You have to use that little screw, and it still, you know, gives you that little nod to the replica. So they really went above and beyond, I think, to still make it look the part, to make it look good, and not just make it a cheap, simple Dooku design. Of course, you know the drill of a Xeno 3. You can change colors, you can change sound font, you can customize a lot of things. That's cool. You have baselit, you have NeoPixel. This one you couldn't have baselit. This one you can. Of course, it's also made for dueling, and it's going to look very nice on a cosplay if you're on a budget. Prices, by the way, you're looking at, as I said, $149 US baselit, $179 US NeoPixel. So that's a great price drop compared to the actual replica for $79. So yeah, giving you one last close-up look at this. We've got the red button, but the activation button is here, by the way. Yep. Love it. Moving on to Anakin's Kyber saber. Let's go. You all know this saber, of course. This is still a little different. A new variation of Anakin's Revenge of the Sith lightsaber hilt. This one, you can see it's got two cutouts at the top of the hilt here on the top half part. And you can open those to reveal a double-sided crystal chamber. So, giving you a better look. So it's a rotating crystal chamber. First bit of info, this is Xeno 3 NeoPixel only for now, and the chamber rotation speed is not customizable via the Xeno 3 app so far. We'll see in the future, and I'll let you know in the product description if this ever changes. But for now, it's fixed rotation speed, and you can see and hear it because it's got a little whining noise. So you can hear it, like the mic is right there. And when you close it, okay, you hear it a little bit less, but you still can hear it. Of course, you know the drill with those sabers. The crystal reacts to whatever settings are for the blade. So if
New Horizon,
you see New Horizon is Ray's sound font, so you know it starts with that red, blue, and then yellow thing, and the crystal does the same, so you can see. And now turns yellow. If you had a sound, if you had, sorry,
the Dark Sword,
a blade style like this flashes, and so you've got this, you know, same thing here. The effect flashes, the crystal also reflects that blade style. Let me get the regular Anakin hilt. So, it's a bit of an older version, this one. But basically, as you can see, there isn't much of a difference. Of course, the only very visible actual difference you'll see is that you see those cutouts here for the chambers. And it's the one that I want you to pay attention to, is you might have noticed those little blade retention screw holes on the ring that's in the shroud, this emitter ring, is because due to that Kyber chamber here, the electronics, they take more space and they kind of go up to here, where on the basic replica, like they stop at around there, so your blade sits deeper, and here the blade insertion is much shallower. You have so much less space, and it's not recommended to use that hole that is the regular blade retention hole that you have on the replica here, the normal replica. But this one, you need to attach your blade at a higher point, which is here, so they've included this very specific emitter ring. That's the only real difference with the regular replica. It's there. The rest is, as you know it, the same slide out core, same internals, the same externals. Everything's just the same except for those two elements. The price, of course, $379 USD in Xeno 3 NeoPixel only. That's basically 50 USD more than the regular hilt design to get that option. There you go. Moving on. I'm gonna have to back down so you can see the full size of this. And I'm using the smallest size of blade possible. This here is the new Shadow Maul in weathered style, and here is the Shadow Maul clean style. And this is another massive update in the catalog. Let me bring you through all of those details. I've already done quite the comparison of the numerous Maul Saber versions in a previous video, but here I go again. Starting with the Maul Episode 1 Saber, because there's an update on the classic Phantom Menace Darth Maul double-bladed saber. And basically how this works is simple. This is actually, you know, the entry price Maul Episode 1 saber that we have. And now you have the option to buy either the set of two Mauls, and it makes for the Darth Maul Episode 1 Phantom Menace classic look of a saber, or you can choose the Shadow Lord configuration, and this one is of course reminiscent of Clone Wars Season 7 or the new Disney show Shadow Lord version of Maul's saber at that period in the timeline. And this is the clean version, and there is a weathered version. It's both for the Shadow Lord saber and for the Maul Episode 1 saber. So now you have the option of clean, weathered, and same thing here, you have clean or weathered. Great new options. Some of you might notice that we already have this hilt in the catalog. Not the same price. There was a special edition the Clone Wars Season 7 version that was based off the Maul Special Edition, and this one is based off. It's a higher quality saber machining. It's more refined in design and finish. If I try again to do this video comparison quickly, so proportions are not completely the same. The buttons are a little bit more rounded, a bit more, I'll say the paint is more solid. I think the difference between the paint and the, maybe it's anodized here. The brushing is a little more refined and it's got a certain tint that I really like. The design is a little more precise in the CNC machining, the cuts. It's a little more finished, you know, it's got a little more of it than here. So it's a different take, and it uses the coupler style that is specific to this Clone Wars Season 7 version. It was made like that. It came with, of course, the same Asajj Ventress, but same thing here, a little more complex in design. The same finish, you know, is different. The tint is different, and it's got more details. It's a little bit more intricate. The cuts here, you know, are different. Here it's just a stripe. Here it's multiple different cuts. Same thing for the pommel here. It's all a little more, you know, it's got more of those machining elements here, engraving and milling. You know, here it's flat, here it's got this window cut. This version is a little more complex. But to be fair, only a very few will actually appreciate the difference and be willing to put more money to get this a bit more refined machining and look. Now, that's what we used to have. Now, I believe this entry price version is going to make a massive difference because it looks great. And it's simpler even because it's got a slide out core. The coupler here, it's not a thread on, but it's a screw on. So let me show you. So the point being that once you insert it, you can actually align the buttons however you want to, and then, you know, screw it on. So that's more precise than the thread on, but it takes more time to couple and uncouple. It's just a matter of choice. And of course, there's the price element. And as a reference, the Darth Maul, so double-sided Phantom Menace, clean Darth Maul, is $299 USD. The new weathered edition is $339 USD. The DM Shadow, so this model, is $339 USD launch price versus $389 USD for the Clone Wars Season 7 version, you know, the higher end version. The weathered DM Shadow, so this one, is $389 USD. So you even get the entry price model weathered for the same price as the Clone Wars Season 7 higher end Saber. So that's kind of the price difference you get, which is best. To me, I think this is the best value for money. Both those models, the new Shadow Saber and the Clone Wars Season 7, will stay in catalog for now. Regarding the Phantom Menace hilt, so the double-sided Phantom Menace hilt, only the entry price model remains. I've removed the special edition, and depending on how the sales evolve, I'll advise. I'll show you those close-ups so you get a better look at it. That's the weathered version, and that's the clean version. Same thing maybe here, not easy. I'll try to force the camera to focus. And honestly, I have said many times that weathered hilts are a hit or miss. But I think this time they're kind of starting to get it, really, at Nexus. I really like how they went, you know, with that weathering process. Yeah. So that's the big update for Darth Maul's Saber. That wraps up our Spring Digest for 2026 here at the Saber Factory with the May anniversary offers. The prices I mentioned are gonna drop even more, so there's no better moment to rush for Saber, and why not? One of those new babies here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. May the Force be with you.
Join me, leave a like and subscribe to this channel.
Oh, mamma mia!